down right now. And I know it took a while, but y'all understand what I go through. It's like, wow, I'll be trying to get it together. It don't always get the pieces together, but we now here. And everything is going to be okay. We do this thing like every day. And what? It's the daily go get is a show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting. It's the daily go get is a show, y'all. And we are all up in your area. I feel like a real man should. And I feel like I should feel like a real man. And I want y'all to feel like real men and women should also. So we are here talking about the rebuilding process. The rebuilding process. Can you deal with the rebuilding process? It's not always the easy thing. Sometimes when you're talking about rebuilding, you're talking about a really long process that takes a whole lot of mental rearranging, mental wrangling, you might say. And you also may have to deal with some emotional things. Trying to get back to the place where you were before, it ain't easy, baby. And sometimes it might make you feel like you're going crazy. That's my deal word. So that's what we're talking about today on the Daily Go Get It Show. So I'm your host, Son 752, aka Omar, with the and we're talking about the rebuilding process. As y'all can see, we've been doing a little work today. It was a secret. I ain't tell nobody. I kept it a secret. I ain't tell nobody. But we here. I hope y'all like it. Urban Therapy with Son. I don't have the Daily Go Get It show background yet, but it is coming. It's going to be a little different color too, you're going to switch up. Flip, bounce, flip, bounce, flip, bounce, flip, bounce. Everything is going to be all right. Carol Shaver, let me find Rita's all up in the house. And my big sis, Robbie Ming, here to do a thing. She's something like a queen for a king. She's always doing a thing. Word, Stacey White, hey, thanks for coming through, Mom. It's good to see you coming through. Say hi. And my man Ja Biggs, what's going on? My dude, my mellow Texas stand up all day. And Mona Garris, what up, Mo? What's up, Mo? I'm sorry I'm late, y'all. But I mean, if y'all only knew what I have to do. If you only knew what I have to do in order to get this thing on and up and running and popping, you would be like, oh yeah, I could understand. We can't go in cold, baby. We got to make sure that we go in hot. We gotta go in hot. We can't be going in there all unprepared, because that would mean I would have to do all of this crazy stuff while we're doing the show. And I've seen people do that on their shows, and I'm just not going to subject y'all to that. So thanks for hanging around. I really appreciate it. Emily Dunlap. Emily, what's going on, Ma? It's good to see some of you. Tanya Respis. Mark it with a T, baby. Mark it with a T, 2007. It's all good. So we're talking about the rebuilding process tonight. The rebuilding process. You know what made me think about this rebuilding process thing? The Eagles. Rebuilding process. Eagles fans don't want to lose. We don't like losing. It's not like we're not used to it, but we don't like it. And when we get to a point in these seasons where we start to win a lot, we want to keep the party going. No way can I blame them. I don't like to lose either. I like to win. And yes, I'm one of those people where if I could win every single time I play, I would do it. Every single time I would do it. I want to win. I like to win. Winning is fun. Woo! Win. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Get It Show, and we are talking about the rebuilding process. So let's get it popping. Urban Therapy with Son 752. With this your daily, the Daily Go Get It Show. We do this every single day, every day it rains, every day it rains. and the DG will do the same. We break it down, baby. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. I'm your host, Son752, aka Omar, with the rrrr. And if you can't say Omar with the rrrr, well, then you just say Omar with the R. It is the Daily Go Get It Business Show. Hold on, y'all. Let me bring my mic. Let me get my microphone involved in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Moving around. Let me get the microphone involved. Get into it and get involved. Y'all hear it? We good? We good? Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is good. All right. Make sure we get the Mizyke with fizz on. Drop it down to a good level. So I shouldn't have to talk into it like this, and I never do. So it's all good though, baby. It's all good. Daily Go Get It Business Show. We talking about the rebuilding process. The rebuilding process. What do you know about the rebuilding process? Well, there comes a stage in all of our lives where we have to terminate something that we were doing, maybe for a long time and that we were hoping we would do for an even longer time comes to an end. So what happens when something comes to an end? Do you die? No. You only die when the end of your life comes. You know, up until then, you have to reinvent yourself. You have to start over. You have to restart. You have to do over. And you may have to go all the way back down to the grassroots level. You may have to go down to the seed level. You know, forget about the grass. Before the grass grew, you may have to go all the way down. All the way down, son. All the way down. So. So, how do you deal with it? It's one thing to deal with change because there comes a time in all of our lives when we have to deal with change. But how do you deal with rebuilding? How do you handle a situation where you have to start all over with the intention of getting back to what you were, where you were, or better? Are you able to do it? Like I said, a lot of people really, really struggle with it. They can't do it. They can't do it, son. They can't do it. I don't want to deal with the colon ring yet. No colon ring yet. No ring. Not yet. Not yet. Right now, we're going to deal with this water. So, yeah. So, how do you deal with a situation where you are forced to rebuild? Have you ever done it? Have you ever lost a business or started a new career or lost a job or gotten divorced or broke up after a really, really long breakup? After a really long relationship where there were lots of feelings involved and where you really thought that you were going to spend the rest of your life with that person or at least a few more days, months, weeks, years. And then it all comes down. It all comes down and you have to deal with it. So let's break it down. Y'all know how we do. We normally talk about what it's like when you have to rebuild financially, like whether you're talking about through a business or job. Then we'll start talking about, the romantic side of things, your love life, how it is when you've broken up or have lost. And sometimes it's after you have lost a love. Some people actually lose a lover in death. Fortunately, that has never happened to me, but I know more than enough people who have had to deal with it. That's a tough thing to deal with too. That's rough stuff. It's tough. But rebuilding, many people are very uncomfortable with trying to rebuild. They try to get back to the status that they were. They try to get back to exactly what they were doing before, like really fast. Like they ain't trying to spend no time in the field. They trying to get back to what they were and what they were doing with the quickness. They don't want to go through all that rebuilding stuff. And I don't blame them. I understand. I get it. I feel them. I do. I absolutely do. But man, we're gonna do something about this table. We're gonna get back to the beats. We're gonna get back to the beats. Gotta get back to the beats, baby. Gotta get back to the beats. But anyway, yeah. Some people try to get back to wherever they were financially. Like, you know, for lack of a better profession, you take like a drug dealer, a street hustler that has taken a fall. You know, maybe they went to jail, maybe they had to spend a lot of their money fighting legal fees or whatever, so they had to stop hustling for a while because they knew that the feds were looking at them and they had to, you know, pay exorbitant amounts in legal fees in order to beat a case. So they basically had to start all over. They couldn't sell drugs for a little while. They had to let the heat die off of them a little bit, but they may have only known how to sell drugs. Many drug dealers have never held a regular job in their lives. All they knew was how to cook up some coke, how to cop some coke, cook up some coke, and sell some coke. It was very lucrative for them. But when you go to jail for some years, or you are unable to sell drugs for some years, and that is the only profession that you've ever made money from, it's a tough situation. Very, very tough. So how do you deal with it? How have they dealt with it? Many of them have tried to get back on their feet way too fast. So they were out of the game for months or years or whatever, and they try to come back and get right back into the game. I'm gonna get back in my old contacts. I'm gonna hit the streets first, and then I'm gonna get back in touch with my old connect and see if he can front me a little work, and you know, I get it popping from there. And next thing you know, they locked back up again because they didn't respect the rebuilding process. They wanted to get right back to where they were. The cars, the houses, the women, the jewels, the money. They missed it. And you can't blame them. You can't really blame them. If that was the only way you knew how to make money and somebody pulled the rug from under you, you would probably try to get right back to it too. You would probably try to get right back to the Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on to your love. You got to hold on. So Mona Garrett says, I bleed green. And she does. She's definitely an Eagles fan. So, you know, when you're a diehard Eagles fan, like when you say something like, I bleed green, T carry right morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my people going right directly in your sight. I didn't see you. So I got these glasses. I'm glad you came through. I'm glad to hold these classes, this word. But yeah, okay, what we got? Nah. There we go. Dust cloths, cleaning cloths, whatever. Oh yeah. Oh God. I can see. Okay. All right. Let me see what y'all talking about. Oh, I didn't pin the number. I wrote the number and didn't pin. Is that what I did? Okay. Hold on. Or maybe I didn't. I thought I could have sworn I pinned it. I mean, I could have sworn I wrote the number. I'm lunching something major up in here. I got it though. Good looking out, my moderator. She's the smooth moderator. Thank you. Appreciate you. Mucho, I say. Mucho, I tell ya. All right. So what we got? What y'all talking about? What y'all talking about? Okay. Oh, y'all was talking amongst yourselves. I got you. I got you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. All right. Okay. Stacy White says I had to rebuild. I moved from the hood to the suburbs. I had to start all over when I moved into my apartment. I had to do it all by myself. I gained everything back and more. Okay. Now, I'm interested to hear of how the rebuilding process went for you. How was the rebuilding process? Because, rebuilding for you might be different and will be different for most other people. Like, what did you really feel like you had to rebuild? Like if you lose all of your belongings in, let's say, a house fire or something like that, you'll lose all of your worldly possessions that you had in the place. But there's also an emotional element to it that you may have felt like you lost. Like you may have felt like, not only did I lose my stuff, but the horror of the memory. Like, for example, how for my people who drive, when you go home from work every day, you may go home a particular way every day, and if you move, you may find yourself not paying attention and going home to your old spot, and may have reached it before you realize, like, wait a minute, I don't live there no more. You know what I'm saying? And for some people, it can make them break down and start crying, like, yo, I mean, you ain't really crying about nothing, but at the same time, change is hard. Change can be very, very difficult. So when you talk about moving from one place to another, let's say like let's say you were living with somebody and y'all had a bad breakup and they did some bullshit, like took all your stuff and just ran with it. You don't know where they moved to. You never heard from them, or you didn't hear from them for a good while, but they took all your shit. And you could be a materialistic person. I ain't mad at people who are materialistic. I like to have stuff too. I love stuff, particularly electronics. Give me all the phones, give me all the headphones, give me all of the gadgets. I love that shit. Love it. Love it. I do. Now, when you go to work and you make your money and you buy that kind of stuff, and then somebody who's close to you knows how you value the stuff that you spend your money on, and then they just victimize you and take your shit, of course you're going to feel some kind of way about it, and you should feel exactly some kind of way about it. But so that may have messed you up financially because you want to get your stuff back. And there's nothing worse than getting robbed by somebody that you know and you can't find their asses. So you know that you can get your shit back, but you probably won't. Or you won't when you want to, because you want it right now. So there can also be an emotional toll that is taken on you because, you also want to fuck the person up who robbed you. That part. That part. So it can be very, very tough. It can be very mentally taxing, very emotionally taxing. It can have you being all emotion. It can have you being all emotion. And I understand. I underdig, and I get it. I understand it. I ain't really with it. That's real. That's real. So yeah, the rebuilding process. Now, let's say having to start all over is one thing, but the rebuilding process, buying, first of all, assessing what has been taken from you, because you know how you know that you have been robbed, but you don't know everything that they have taken from you. You know the surface stuff, Big stuff you notice first. Oh shit, they stole the TV. Oh shit, they took the microwave. They took the VCR back in the day. You know, stuff like that you would notice. They took the video game console. Oh, they took my jewelry. You notice stuff like that. But what you won't notice is personal items that they took from you that might not crop up until later on. They stole your checkbook. Shit like that. Old checks or new checks that you haven't used yet, and they write them shits out. Now you got to deal with your bank. That kind of stuff. Pictures. They may have vandalized or stolen from you because they knew those pictures were special to you. They meant a lot to you. They had sentimental value to you. So rebuilding your mental and your emotional makeup after something like that, it ain't easy. You may have to go through counseling. You know, people try to discount when you've been hurt that way. Like, it ain't no big thing. It's only money. It's only material things and all of that shit. Well, you talk all of that bullshit when somebody take your shit. And when you come home and you see your door has been kicked in and you realize, like, damn, even if I was here, they can just come in your house. Somebody can just break the lock, come into your house and take your shit. That means they could break in your house and take your life too. No, it's not a good feeling. And rebuilding after that mentally and emotionally is not easy. And I've been through it several times, and I don't like it. Okay. Tanya Respite says, yep, you got to love yourself more than anything. So rebuilding yourself is absolutely vital to your mental health. Word up. Everybody rebuilds in a different way, though. TK Wright says, you did well with the beats yesterday. Yeah, I bet. You know what I mean? We gotta. We're going to try, man. We're trying, man. All right. Okay. Moni Garrett says, I moved from one city to another. I came to VA with nothing but a dream. That is definitely rebuilding. You know, I know that it's tough when you move from one city to another, Mo, because especially if you're moving to a city where you don't have any roots. You know, it might be a little bit easier if you're moving to a place where you have family, you know, cousins, aunts, uncles, friends, college buddies, something like that. Somebody to, you know, say, hey, you know, listen, I'm going to put you on to this. This is where you go if you need this, that, and the third. You know, as far as food is concerned, you know, check out these places. They got good stuff and all of that. So, you know, when you have somebody to kind of walk you through, it's a little bit easier. But let's say you take a job in another city because the money was really good or the job was moving and you really wanted to stay with the company because they offered you a really great position with all of this dough and they were setting you up. They may have even set you up to move and set you up with a crib or something like that. There are jobs out there who do that. And so you may have taken a job in a city where you don't have any ties to anybody. So you have to build. You have to, you know, find your way around for one thing. Ocean Blue too. Hey, what's going on, man? Good to see me. Some you know, diggity. So you might have to, you know, learn to find your way around. It's a lot easier nowadays with GPS and all of that kind of stuff. But really understanding the layout of the land, the way that the place is, the way that the city is built, the township or whatever. You know what I mean? That and the social aspect, finding out what the culture of the area is, seeing if you like the people and the way that they live. Certain places have culture. You know, all black people ain't the same everywhere in this country. They ain't. They ain't. We all know that down south is different from the East Coast. And speaking of down south and East Coast, I don't understand how Miami is not considered the East Coast. It don't get more east than that. And neither is Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina. Like how did they're on the Philadelphia is more inland. We're covered by New Jersey. I don't know who was the brains behind it. We didn't need New Jersey. We didn't need Jersey. Why did we allow Jersey to cover Pennsylvania and keep us 60 miles away from the damn ocean? Why did we do? Who's the brains behind that? Who's the brains? So Jersey is connected to New York, and Pennsylvania is even more connected to New York. Who was the brains? Who thunk it? Okay. Anyway, the bottom line is that when you move to another city, you may have had to leave some of your stuff back home. You may have had the garage sale or give away a lot of your stuff because you just couldn't take it. It didn't make no sense. Some of the stuff that you may have had in the house that you were in one city may not fit in the house that you have that you bought in another city or the place that you're going to live in another city. So let's say you had a big ass wall unit, and that wall unit is not going to fit in this apartment that you are starting off in this new place, and you might not want to spend all your money putting your shit in storage. Shout out to a bunch of women. Shout out to the women who put their shit in storage. Men don't normally do that shit. Women will put their shit in storage and pay that storage bill for 10 years. Until they finally realize, like, oh, damn, the shit is outdated. I don't even need it no more. You paid a storage bill for 8 goddamn years. That computer you had in that storage unit got Windows 98 in it. Fuck is you doing? Windows 98? You got Earthlink CDs and AOL 1,500 hours. What is you doing? What is you doing? You know what I'm talking about. Earthlink, AOL, MSN. MSN. What? And yeah, I know that I still have a AOL email address, and I know that I still have an MSN email address. So what? So what? That's right. sun752@aol.com and make a muscle at msn.com. So what? Email addresses don't expire as long as the business is still in. Okay. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill. I said my brother from another mother, Norris Hill. Thanks for coming through, my brother. Thanks for coming on now. It's always great to see you coming through, no doubt. Yeah, so the rebuilding process when you move from one city to another is tough. And you have to respect the rebuilding process. You have to respect the rebuilding process. You can't just go to a new city and automatically become established. I don't care how many step in line dance events that you go to, because you might, let's say you move from Philly to Chicago. Now I know that they have people in Philly who like to step. We got some line dance, it's all good. But y'all don't understand how they value line dancing up in Chicago and in the Midwest. They take that stepping thing to a whole nother level. Like I ain't saying that they do it better, but I'm saying they do it a lot more. a whole lot more. You know, up in the Midwest, it's cold. You know, Chicago, Indiana, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan. I don't understand why Michigan is part of the Midwest. I see where it's positioned. If you look on a map and you look where Michigan is, and you look at where Michigan is, and you look at where Pennsylvania is. You look at where Michigan is, you look at where Ohio is, and you look at where Pennsylvania is. You like, how we Midwest again? Like, y'all ain't, it's not in the middle. The middle is the middle. Like, I can understand if you said like Iowa. Iowa is definitely the Midwest. Colorado, definitely, but and Colorado is not even considered the Midwest, is it? It's definitely in the middle, though. I don't know, baby. I don't know. Okay. TK Wright said the table didn't shake. Did you wait? No, it'll shake. Put y'all on Parkinson's. No Parkinson's. No Parkinson's, baby. No Parkinson's, baby. All right. Make sure that y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Get Mism Show. Oh. And y'all know how it go. So we're talking about the rebuilding process. Do you respect the rebuilding process? When your team has already won or they've been going to the playoffs, but it's time for us to get rid of the old players because they're getting older and they're not producing as well. So you gotta rebuild through free agency sometimes, and sometimes you have to rebuild through the draft. Players straight out of college, inexperienced. You know what I mean? The future. And you're going to lose a lot when you're rebuilding. But do you respect that process? The Sixers lost on purpose for 5 straight years. I did not agree with that. And they still saying respect the process. I didn't respect that process. I don't believe in losing on purpose because they could have won. And I don't understand how the league can allow teams to lose on purpose. You can't do that in the NFL. And you know why you can't do it in the NFL? Because there's money involved. There's money involved. And they not having that. You fuck up that gambling money. Sports betting is very, very lucrative and very important to a lot of people. So throwing games is not an option. And I don't understand how they were able to get away with that in basketball. But they did. But they did, though. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So, rebuilding, the rebuilding process. Do you respect? Do you remember when we had reminisce on the love we had? All right. Okay. What we got? What we got? Sorry that you're going through what you're going through, Carol. Is it done? Okay, hold up. T. Carey Wright says, Mona, I moved from New York to Philly, no friends or family that I knew of. I was riding out on faith that the universe was putting in position. I guess you mean putting me in position to realize my destiny. Wow. That's a very poignant way of describing your move from New York to Philly. Most people describe that move like a piece of cake. Like, yo, went down there in little Philadelphia, whatever, you know what I mean? Got me a little crib, got a porch now, got a backyard now. You know what I mean? It's kind of nice. Mona says, I come off as aggressive to VA people until they get to know me. Yeah, Philly girl. You know what, Mo? You wouldn't recognize it, but we all have it. That Philly thing. It's hard for us to turn off. It's very hard for us to even recognize it among other people. But it stands out like a sore thumb. Like everywhere I go, they talk about it too. I really try to dumb it down, but it comes out. That's just the way we are over here. That's the way we are. It's like even when we don't take leadership, we'll definitely tell you what we're not going to do. And we will aggressively tell you what we're not going to do, what we ain't having, who we're not, and who we are, and who you think you're talking to. It can be offensive to some people. And you don't mean no harm. You just being yourself. But yourself is a lot different than other people. And you don't recognize it until they mushing it right in your face. Like, yo, you got to chill. You too aggressive. Shit. Some people right here might tell you that you too aggressive. And you like, yo, why you acting like pussies? That's why we kind of have to watch out when we go to other places, because somebody mess around and kill our asses. And I'm not even bullshitting, because that fear and intimidation, some people ain't having that shit. So they willing to eliminate the problem. Okay. T. Carey Wright says, I feel like when you move, you should only take the things that will promote the next level of building. Interesting. It wasn't, okay, she also says, it wasn't shaking earlier when your hands were further apart. Nah, I don't know. I think we better. Damn, Norris, you lost your record. Somebody stole. You know how many times? Do you know how many? Like, I had just about every hip hop cassette that was out from the 80s going all the way until the mid 90s. I got robbed of that shit twice. So first I had all of the tapes, and then I had all of the CDs. And I had to get that shit back. And you know, like somebody stealing your records or tapes, man. It's so disheartening. And you know what? Listen, I'm gonna take y'all back. I'm gonna take you back. The thing about them goddamn cassettes, like with records can be out of print, but you'll find those records somewhere. You'll find somebody who has a record of those records. The thing about those motherfucking cassettes, though, Nars, you may have taped some shit off the radio. So let's say you tape a mix off the radio. let's say back in the day you had a cousin who used to tape the Red Alert and Chuck Chill Out show. So those mixes are exclusive mixes. You didn't have WBLS. You didn't have WRKS. You ain't had that shit. So you took those tapes back to where you live. The motherfucking people around your way at your school, they never heard that shit before. They never heard it before. And those mixes, once they are taped, that's it. So you might have had these tapes for years. You used to. All right, so here it is. The year is 1987. So here it is. Milk is Giz is chilling. Milk is chilling. What more can I say? Top billing. And then right after that, Eric B. Rakim, you got Soul comes out. And then right after that, you understand what I'm saying? Wait a minute. Top billing came out in 86, didn't it? I think it did. Let me see. I think it came out 86. Hold on. What year did Top Billing by the Audio 2 come out? It ain't picked that shit up. Let me see. What year did Top Billing by the Audio 2 come out?
According to RCA.com, RCA is an iconic brand that has endured from generation to generation. Its timeless logo and technological advances have permeated worldwide culture as a symbol of quality and reliability.
Okay, it was 87. Okay. So So in 87, now we're talking about Top Billing came out, and then you might have had it. Then Eric B. and Rakim, you got Soul might have came out, and then some underground shit that wasn't as popular, but it might have been hot, like Mikey D. What was the name of his songs? The name of it. Anyway, like those mixes, if somebody steals that tape and you don't have a duplicate tape of it, you're not getting that back. There's nowhere for you to buy that back. You can't bring back Mr. Magic. Mr. Magic passed. Rest in peace, Mr. Magic. Mr. Magic and Marley Marl, you can't bring that back. So the cassettes that you made, they're one of a kind. Even if you just took a bunch of records that you had and taped it on cassette, like those mixes, you can't, they can't be duplicated. So they may have meant a whole lot to you. I know mine did to me. So that's some man. TK right says, a fresh start, release the energy from the previous, please. What if you like the previous, please? I don't know. Okay. Carol says, I did some soul searching after my divorce, clearing my mind, looking to the bigger and better things, and I had to stop blaming myself. Now that's a lot of that's real rebuilding right there, Carol. It is after a divorce, because you lose so much in a divorce that you don't really think about. People who have never been married before don't understand the mental and emotional toll that getting married, going through a tough marriage, and eventually getting divorced. They don't know what a toll that can take on your mind and your emotions. It's really, really tough. it can really, really be tough. So, where people think you can just get back on your horse and ride out and everything, it's not as easy as that for other people. It's really not. And it would be nice if it was, but it ain't always like that. So you had to get back. You had to stop putting your mental under attack and your emotions and your heart was all in it. You wasn't ready to run that race, wasn't ready to win it. But you had to climb, you had to crawl before you walk, you had to try to stalk your good places that you have been, had to find another way in your mind to win. And you knew that you was good, but damn, they took a lot out of your ass, took you out of the hood, took you out of the burg, took you out of the place, took you out of the loft, took you make you feel soft. And will you get back to what you had? Hell yeah, but don't be mad at the stuff you lost. Sometimes you lost half, you have to pay the alimony. Oh, that shit. You want to laugh? No, that ain't funny. You lost more than your heart, lost more than your money. You lost more than your time, lost more than your gifts. Listen, that divorce shit is serious. Very, very serious. I saw my mom go through it. Miraculously, my dad was married 3 times and I never saw him go through it. But in a way he did. Because when him and my mom broke up, he also had to rebuild his career. She didn't have nothing to do with him losing his career, but that's what was going on at the time. That's what was going on at the time. So I totally understand, Cal. And you have to look deep inside yourself. And sometimes you have to have a lot of times you have to have a strong support team behind you, family and friends and people who care about you, who can remind you of some things about yourself that you have forgotten. Like you may have forgotten how much people look up to you and how much they admire you. And it's not even an ego thing. What it is a support thing. So you needed to be reminded of what you mean to other people and the example that you have set for other people by not even trying. Sometimes somebody has to pull your coat about it, like, yo, if it wasn't for you, I would have. If it wasn't for you, I would have. If it wasn't for you, I would have went to the army. If it wasn't for you, I never would have went to college. If it wasn't for you, would have never got a job. If it wasn't for you, I would have kept selling drugs. If it wasn't for you, I would have did some old crazy ass crime and did a whole lot of time. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have any type of positivity. And I want to thank you for me and just being the person that you are. You a shining star, baby. And I want to take this time to tell you, if you need anything, you got me, king and queen. Yo, I'm on my Dean right now because I watch you. And how could anybody else do you wrong? Well, I'm gonna help you get back on your throne. Man, it won't take long because you got the right stuff and you always stand 10 toes down when it's tough. And I'm right here by your side and got your back, and nobody better attack you. If you act whack, I'm going to get in your world and I got you, girl. No doubt, no doubt. Sometimes it takes that shit. Sometimes, sometimes somebody has to come through with the good word, Carol. With the good word, baby. The good word. Sometimes you may be the author of the good word and didn't even know it. You ain't even know it, though. You ain't even know it, though. The rebuilding process, y'all. Do you respect the rebuilding process? Are you ready? Do you try to get back to where you were way before it's time? Do you try to rush back and show everybody that you're okay? If somebody passes away that you love, do you try to erase the pain that they left you feeling? Like I'm like I'm good. Such and such is okay. Such and such is they in a better place right now, and I'm in a better place too. That type shit. That type shit. You know. Sometimes we try to get back too fast. Sometimes we try to show everybody that we're okay way before we're okay because we don't want to rebuild. We don't ever want to be down. We don't want to start all over. We don't want to retool. We don't want to redo. We don't want to restart. We don't want anybody to know or to feel like we're human. We want to seem superhuman. And I'm not saying that y'all are letting your ego get in the way, but we all let our egos get in the way sometimes. Anytime that you refuse help from somebody who's giving it to you freely, and there aren't trust issues that are tied to it, that's your ego. Well, now it's sort of like when you were a child, just learning to walk or just learning to read or learning to ride a bike. No, mom, let me do it. Let me do it myself. I want to do it by myself. Dad, can you take my training wheels off my bike? I want to ride my bike the right way. I want to ride my bike like everybody around the way ride their bike. I don't want these training wheels. I don't think I need them. You want to do it yourself. There's nothing wrong with learning how to do things yourself. There's nothing wrong with seeking out your independence. But just remember that at the same time, you mean something to some other people that you may not even know. Because somebody else out there may seem to have a lot, maybe even a lot more than you have materialistically, but you may be the shining example for them emotionally or mentally. And so there's a responsibility there. And if we're talking about the rebuilding process, we are talking about responsibility. Because if you try to get back too fast, too soon, there's a good chance you might wind up having to restart and rebuild even farther back than you were initially. But we all got to go through it, baby. We all got to go through it. And it's going to be okay. I promise you it's going to be okay. I promise, baby. Yes. Okay. All right. All right. GK right says, I grew up with all that stuff. My move was about feeling like I was home. I left all of my family on both sides and every friend but one who had left already. It was a big deal, but it was liberating. That's what's up. This table and camera are acting like black children when company come around. Mona says, when I moved, it was me. My two what? My two kids? No, it says I lost half of my collection. Oh, let's not talk about cassettes and CDs. I'm sorry. We could probably talk all day. I had records, tapes, and CDs like DJs do. Only thing I didn't have was two of every record. You know what I mean? Because I didn't, I wasn't on the wheels of steel. Oh, two of my children and clothes. But Mo, you a hustler anyway. So, and that's a gift and a curse for you because The gift is that everybody knows that you're going to be all right because you have the skills to pay the bills. The curse is that everybody thinks that you're going to be all right. So they may not offer the help that you need, or they may not offer the support that you need, or they may count on you too much to, to take care of yourself and them without taking into account that you're rebuilding like everybody else. It says, I used to record the Saturday night master mix party off of a Cleveland station. So, I knew you would know what I was talking about. When you lose those mixtapes, you know how in your mind, you listen to those tapes so much that even nowadays, when you hear one song, you expect that song that you listened to on that tape to come on after this, and it never will. It never will, Nars. It never will. It never will. And somebody stole that shit, and it's etched in your brain. I keep waiting for somebody to mix the B-Boys Girls with I can't even remember. And I lost the tape anyway. God damn it. But Mixmaster Mike on Power 99 used to tear that shit up. All right. Carol Chamberlain says, go back to the Last Poets. I go back to the Last Poets, Rotary Connection, and that kind of music. I also have an album of Kent State. Wow. I used to record Dr. Perry Johnson too. Wow. Yeah, you do have an extensive collection. You can't rebuild that. You just have to let it go. I guess you can't rebuild that. You'll have to rebuild, but you can't get that back. It's done. It's a riznap. Carol says, at alimony, he ain't had nothing. No, I mean, you could have been the one paying the alimony. You know how many women out here make more than they men, and they get divorced and they wind up having to pay that bum ass nigga? Yo, the court. Yo, at a divorce, all is fair. Oh, okay. Well, so you were the breadwinner, man? Yeah. He ain't have nothing. Oh, you was the breadwinner? Well, guess what? He ain't had nothing. He gonna have half of what you gonna pay him. Mm-hmm. I know 3 women who had to pay alimony. They was mad as fuck. I mean, you want to see? Listen, there are certain things that women are not that good at. Alimony and child support. You think niggas be bitching about child support? Let a woman have to pay it. Women be getting locked up left and right over child support. Yo, they be mad, son. Yo, they be mad, doggy. They be mad, dog. They be mad, dog. All right. Okay, what we got? What we got? All right. Carol says, yes, you do. And I had to do it for my children too. If I wasn't right, they weren't going to be right. I hear that. Speaking for myself, Nara says, it may take years to recover every aspect. No doubt. GK Wright says, hugs. You know that I know. I repainted, redecorated, changed furniture. Carol says, yes, I had my dad. He reminded me of what I could do. You gotta have that, Carol. You gotta have somebody to come and be like, listen, I gotta get, I gotta show you some old pictures of who you are. This is you being successful. This is you doing your thing. This is you showing them what you got. This is you setting an example. This is you being the best. This is you striving. This is you being ambitious. This is you getting pretty. This is you doing that fly shit. This is you climbing up the ladder of success. This is you getting your spiritual mind, your spiritual mind, body, and soul together. This is you. This is you showing other people how to do this, son. This is you. You need that shit. You know what I mean? They don't have cheerleaders for sports teams just for the visual. No, you could say that. I don't think they do. Shit, they cheer each other on. They cheer each other on. They be cheering. So yeah, man, you know, that support is paramount. It's paramount. It's paramount. It's not Casablanca. It's not Casablanca. It's paramount. It's not MGM Studio. It's paramount. All right. All right. Stacy White says, good night. I had to take care of some business before the night is over with. Okay. All right. I'm glad that you came through. Appreciate me some SOMEU. Yeah, Carol says, no, Omar, it's a process and it takes time. Yeah. And we have to, sometimes we have to have somebody tell us that shit. Because we be too busy trying, like, I'm going to show y'all what I got. I'm going to show y'all what I'm made of. And one monkey don't stop the show. I mean, they might have hurt me, but they ain't kill me. All the while, we're too busy trying to prove that because they didn't kill us, we're still more than alive. And we're not taking time to heal from our wounds before we decide to start playing again. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And we ain't got to do that shit. You know? It's going to be all right. The rebuilding process, y'all. The rebuilding process. What you know? What you know? All right. TK right says, Norris, don't you make my eyes rain with that song. Oh, what song? Eric Benet's Sometimes I Cry is one of those. Oh. Okay. Carol says, extenuating circumstances, Omar, he couldn't get alimony. I understand. I understand you saying that he was wrong and you was right. The judge was like, oh, well, you got to eat that. You got to eat that. No, it says, letting go of resentments is key. Easier said than done. And letting go of resentments, moving past resentments, that is definitely a big part of the healing process, of the rebuilding process. I mean, ain't no way around it. You got to go through that shit. You got to do it. Got to do it. Do or die, baby. Do or die. Do or die. Carol says, hardest thing I think I ever did. Yeah, man, when it comes to your mind, see, material things, if you get money, you can always get those things back. You can get those things back fairly quickly. But it ain't easy when it deals with something that you have to mentally do or emotionally get over with. I mean, the power of the emotional mind, man. Motherfuckers try to get around that shit. This shit is real. That shit is real, son. It's real. All right. Oh shit! You know what? Oh, it's a good thing nobody called. I ain't even give out the number. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna be back tomorrow, man. This is gonna be our set until I get a daily go getimism show background. We're gonna rock with the Urban Therapy with Son. Y'all can tell it's old because urbantherapywithson.com, and I don't even have my I still have the domain, but I don't have the site up anymore. I need to actually get the site up again. But I need a mission. My vision is better now about what I'm trying to do. No, it says I'm still wrestling with some old shit. See, with this internet shit, social media stuff, I'm a little bit smarter with all of this shit than I was before. Before I didn't understand the vision. I didn't understand what the marketing plan was supposed to be. I think I have a better grasp on it now. So if I get the website back up, I realize I don't have to steer everything towards this movement. We can do some other shit. We can, you'll see what I'm talking about. If anybody out there knows how to build websites, holla. Okay. Let's do these birthday shout outs, yo. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious October 6th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box. My girl, go get her. Sunny Libra sun. I said Sunny Libra sun. Turning 36 years old today. And also my girl from Milwaukee, Nichelle Morgan. Same name as my niece, Nichelle Morgan. And they both call themselves Nikki. Ain't that some shit? Turning 38 years old today. Happy birthday to you. Damn, she's a young John. Shit, my niece is only 32. All right. And Lakeisha Freeman Brown. Happy birthday to you. And Lisa MBA. Happy birthday to you. And also Laurel Wilson turning 43 years old today. And Kanisha Brown turning 46 years old today. And Win Mel turning 58 years old today. And Terry Stevens turning 47 years old today. And also Dorothy Webb. Miss Dot the Stormtrooper Webb, happy birthday to you. And also, last but not least, she lived right down the street from me as we was growing up. And that's my girl, and I'm glad she's showing up. My girl, Mona John, turning 48 years old today. Happy birthday to you, Mo. Real name is Monique. I want to say happy birthday to all of you. And anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious October 6th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud, just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing and do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings and do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, the rebuilding process is something that we all have to go through, and none of us really want to go through. Nobody wants to start all over. Nobody wants to take the fall. Nobody wants to have the bricks coming tumbling down on us like we pulled the wrong block in the game of Jigga. But by the grace of God and the mercy of the Lord, we going to all fall and get back on our own accord. But we going to help each other. We going to form a group, and we going to make sure that we storm truth for y'all motherfuckers and scoop the best of the best, and the rest we gonna build up from the bottom to the top, and we won't stop until the ball drops, not on January 1, but make sure that you understand what's necessary, son. It's gonna be all right. The game tight, and we gonna be back tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. And I'm glad y'all came through the rock with the sun. And this show's done. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. All right, so what we gonna do? What we gonna do? All right, Blog Talk, you're out of here. We get back. You know what I mean? We holler at you.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
And for my no. And for my Instagrammers, yo, Five Slammer Jammer, thanks for coming on through and let me exercise my grammar. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. I'll check you out on the other side, my boobers. And don't forget to share that show. And don't forget to subscribe to that channel, yo. And don't forget that we will be back tomorrow. Oh, and don't forget nothing that I told you today. That's what. Peace to Black Rob. DMX2.